So this is the still point. Now we're just waiting. It's like when you build something. I'm going to give an example. Like when I first built my website, first started creating my programs, my workshops. They're built, and then you have to wait for the people to catch up. You got to wait for them to show up. Um, and when you first create it, there's this peace, there's this joy. You know it's going to be good. You know something good is going to come from it, right? It's going to be amazing. But then you have to wait, right? Because there's not a million people coming to it right away. It's slow. You got to wait for the people to see it. You got to wait for the people to catch up. And when they start showing up and start basically affirming what you're doing, right? They validate it. They show up, and uh, you get those messages where you're actually helping people and where they're getting something really good out of it. Then it starts to come in, and it comes in very slowly at first, and that's okay. But that waiting, especially this day and age when we're all so impatient and we just want it to be completely done. Um, Everything we're rushing to get to the end stop, and we completely forget the journey. And that's why these kind of parts that I break it down, if you notice, there's quite a few parts of waiting, especially right near the end, right? There's a few of them. There's the medicine within, which comes before you create, right? This is the pause where you're sorting, releasing, understanding what it is and how to use that fire. That's where you start to really notice, right? Then you get to use all of that fire, and you get to focus it, and you get to create something beautiful. And then there's that peace, which is still a stillness, it's still a pause, but it's a peace, but it's a good peace, and you can extend it out. And then right after that is another stillness. It's that still point, and that's what this one is. There's another still point, and that's meant for you to wait for the world to catch up, to test your commitment, to keep showing up, to keep doing the things that you already know you're supposed to be doing. There's that still point. And that's what this is, right? It's just a lot of hurry up and wait. I did it. I got it all done. Now you got to wait for the world to catch up. And all it's doing is testing your commitment, seeing if you're going to continue doing the things that you know work really well. You're waiting. You're understanding that just because you know what it is, all visionaries have it, right? All visionaries go through it. I'm just saying visionaries because when you create, it's easier to understand that point. Um, Sometimes it's harder to understand that point when you're, just trying to understand the lesson, right? Maybe that pause and maybe the still point is a little less because you're not creating something big. It's something you're learning, or maybe you're waiting to get into school or a class to start for that. It's the same thing, but when you're a visionary, when you're creating, when you're really trying to build something to help the world, and then you have to wait for the world to catch up. So that's why when I say it like I'm saying it, it's not, none of it's bad, but the learning how to wait when we're all impatient can be a big struggle, right? Um, a lot of people skip this part. A lot of people want to rush past it. A lot of people don't know how to speak it out, how to say what it is that's happening. It just feels like confusion. I've already done all this work, so why am I waiting? Why do I have to wait again? Why can't I move to the next step? Because there's a process, and then there's a time, and there's a space where you have to get used to doing the things, how you're building that habit, right? You're showing up, you're doing that exercise routine, you've added it in. It doesn't start, you're showing up, showing up, showing up, you're doing it. Well, there's a space. You're not going to see any real change or commitment until a certain stage, right? But you have to keep showing up to get there. And if you give up or you try to zoom past it, then you just end up causing way more stress to yourself, right? So a lot of people skip that because it looks like nothing's happening, but it sure is happening. So it's not just before reaction, it's after the work. It's the space where emotion is moved, awareness has landed, but identity hasn't fully shifted yet. It's like I want to say you got one foot in the old space, the patterns, the things you understood from before, and then you got one foot in the new space. Now you're moving that foot from the old into the new, but to understand that, you're still releasing, you're processing, And that comes the same way with creation. But when we're creating new habits, when we're creating new patterns, when we're creating new understanding, that's how it gets through. Um, you're waiting for your identity to catch up. You're waiting for that thing you created for the world to catch up, to show up, to see, to understand. It's the same thing no matter where you put it in your life, right? It's just a still point. It's just a space. And when we learn to understand and acknowledge it, we create space for our own selves. You've done the work, but you're not fully there yet. And you're not fully there yet because you're not doing it like breathing. You're not doing it so easily that you don't have to think about it anymore. When you have to think about it from the forefront and you're actively doing it, you're still trying to create that habit. You're still trying to create that part of your routine, and you're still trying to, you have to keep showing up. And until you get to the space where you're automatically doing it, it's the back of your brain, like all that other programming that's been happening your whole life through TV, social media, all that. Until you program that part of your brain, um, you have to keep showing up. You just have to keep doing it. And that still point is there to help you do that. You're not taking too much extra stuff in. You're still showing up. You're doing the commitment. And it will come a time. You won't notice it right away because there will be the full circle moment and you will notice it. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. But um, you have to just keep showing up and keep doing it and keep showing up and keep doing it. And eventually you just keep showing up and keep doing it and you forget that you're supposed to do it. You just do it because it's the same way you get up and brush your teeth when you get up in the morning. The same way you brush your teeth, you do your face routine, you have your shower, all of the things that you do at the end of the day. Every single thing that you do, that routine becomes a routine, right? It's the same thing with your actions, with your thoughts, with the processes, with how you show up, how you check in for the day, at the end of the day, whatever that routine is that you've been slowly adding things to, whatever that thing is you create that is going to be your business, is something that you love, the thing that you're building. Well, how do you build it if you don't show up, right? You just keep showing up and then it just becomes something that you do, just like breathing. And instead of doing bad things, negative things, things that make it harder for you, we're creating new things, right? We've done all this work, all this processing to release all the negative stuff. Now what we're doing is we're showing up consistently every single day, doing that habit, creating that habit of the new things. That negative thought comes in, no, you don't belong here. Sorry, you got to go. I am empowered. I am smart. I am happy. I am kind. I am abundant. And you're immediately kicking it out with something new, right? So you're noticing it. First of all, the awareness that comes with the fire and flow. That's way back there. You've already learned that. You've already understood that. Now you're moving into the, okay, caught it, understood what it is, changed it, done the action, and now I know every time it comes in, right? Every time that thought comes in, nope, you don't belong here, right? You're doing this entire process. You're catching it. You're replacing it with the new thought, right? And you're just going to keep doing that until that it just starts happening, and then the bad thought doesn't come in, and the new thought is what's coming in. And it does work, and I had to do it, and I still have to check myself sometimes when I start to worry or things get there's always life. So there's going to be something that comes in and it's chaotic, and immediately your brain goes, "What if this?" Right? The immediate thought is something disastrous, right? Which is usually so extreme, it just doesn't even make sense. But that's when immediately you check yourself. Whoa, we know that's not going to happen. So let's tone it down a little, take a breather, and not freak out. What is it that we're trying to accomplish, right? That's when you know that the things are changed, right? That's when you know those changes are actually taking place because you're immediately checking it. You're immediately doing the whole step, the whole process, and you're coming out with a much better feeling, much more empowered. And that's on the emotional end. And the same thing on the creative. You already know you've been doing the work. The people are going to show up. It's just a matter of time because you're still showing up and you're still doing the thing you need to do. So no matter how you relate the still point in there, it is a still point and it is a part of the process. And the idea is when we can take away from it, understanding that space where we're just, our commitment is being tested, where we need to understand how it works. When we can take that away and really take our time and understand that, we allow that space and we end up flowing with it instead of fighting with it. It only feels weird because we don't know how to name it. We don't know how to understand it because we're still learning how to show up. We're not 100% there yet, right? So, have you ever felt that moment where everything just goes quiet? Do you try to push past it or do you sit in it? Why is it quiet? What am I trying to learn here? Is there something I should be learning? Right? Your brain immediately goes to 20 questions. What?